Ladies and gentlemen, life has a way of knocking us down, doesn't it? Sometimes it feels like the world conspires against us, pushing us to our limits. But let me tell you something. The difference between those who merely survive and those who thrive is not in how hard they fall, but in how they come back. Every setback carries within it a seed of opportunity, though it may not always appear that way at first glance. When life knocks us down, our natural instinct is often to focus on the pain, the disappointment, or the sense of failure. We replay the event in our minds, questioning our choices and wondering why things went wrong. However, this tendency to dwell on the negative often blinds us to the hidden potential that lies within the challenge itself. Imagine a young entrepreneur whose business collapses after years of hard work. The initial shock and pain can feel overwhelming. Friends and family may offer sympathy, but deep down the failure feels personal, as if it defines who they are. In moments like these, it's easy to see only the pain and not the possibility. But what if instead this entrepreneur paused and asked, "What can I learn from this? How can I turn this experience into something valuable?" To come back different, one must develop the habit of looking beyond the pain to uncover purpose. But this doesn't mean dismissing the hurt or pretending that everything is fine. Acknowledge the pain, but don't stop there. Dig deeper to find the lesson hidden within the struggle. Perhaps the failure reveals a gap in skills, a flaw in the original plan, or an overlooked detail. Once recognized, this insight becomes a powerful tool for growth. Many of the world's most successful people have faced devastating setbacks, but what set them apart was their ability to extract purpose from pain. Thomas Edison's laboratory burned to the ground, destroying years of work. Instead of giving in to despair, Edison famously remarked that the disaster cleared out old mistakes and gave him a fresh start. His ability to find purpose in loss transformed a potential defeat into a catalyst for innovation. This mindset is not just for inventors or entrepreneurs. It applies to anyone facing hardship. When a relationship ends, it's easy to feel rejected or inadequate. However, by seeking purpose, one might realize that the experience highlights the importance of self-worth or teaches resilience. Instead of viewing the end as purely negative, it becomes a stepping stone toward healthier relationships and personal growth. The key to this transformation lies in perspective. Pain often demands our attention, screaming for us to stay rooted in despair. Purpose, on the other hand, whispers softly, requiring effort to uncover. It takes conscious effort to shift the focus from "Why did this happen to me?" to "What can I learn from this?" This shift changes everything. Rather than being paralyzed by adversity, we become empowered by the lessons it teaches. Once we find purpose in pain, we are no longer victims of our circumstances, but active participants in our own transformation. This approach fosters resilience because we train our minds to seek growth even when life feels unfair. Instead of blaming ourselves or others, we take responsibility for our reactions and choices. This sense of control is liberating. Coming back different means returning not just healed, but transformed. When we use our pain to build purpose, we don't just recover, we evolve. We become more self-aware, more prepared for future challenges, and more driven to pursue our goals with a renewed sense of direction. This growth mindset not only strengthens us, but also inspires those around us. People who witness our transformation see the power of purpose and are encouraged to seek their own. In the end, setbacks become defining moments not because of what they take from us, but because of what they teach us. By embracing purpose over pain, we turn every challenge into an opportunity, every failure into a lesson, and every fall into a rise. Through this mindset, we don't just come back, we come back different. Our minds are powerful tools, capable of shaping our lives and determining our outcomes. Yet too often we allow our thoughts to run wild, influenced by fear, doubt, and past failures. To truly come back different after a setback, we must develop a mindset of mastery, one that takes control of our thoughts rather than letting our thoughts control us. This shift is essential because our mindset not only influences how we perceive challenges, but also dictates how we respond to them. Think about a time when you faced a significant disappointment. Perhaps it was a failed project, a rejection, or a mistake that seemed to overshadow your efforts. In that moment, your thoughts likely raced with negative self-talk. I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed, or I always mess things up. These thoughts can quickly spiral, reinforcing feelings of inadequacy and convincing you that giving up is the best option. But what if, instead of surrendering to these thoughts, you challenged them? What if you deliberately replaced them with empowering beliefs that support your growth and resilience? The key to mastering your mindset lies in recognizing the immense power of your internal dialogue. It's not just about thinking positively. It's about consciously choosing thoughts that align with your goals. Start by observing your thoughts without judgment. Notice the patterns that emerge when you're faced with adversity. Are your thoughts primarily negative or self-defeating? Do you automatically assume the worst, or do you give yourself the benefit of the doubt? Becoming aware of these patterns is the first step in reclaiming control. Once you've identified your thought patterns, practice reframing negative thoughts into constructive ones. Instead of saying, I failed, and that means I'm a failure, try, I didn't achieve my goal this time, but I've learned valuable lessons that will help me succeed in the future. This simple shift not only changes your emotional response, but also encourages proactive behavior. Rather than feeling stuck, you'll feel motivated to try again with new insights. Another crucial aspect of developing a mindset of mastery is visualization. Successful people often visualize their achievements long before they become reality. This technique trains the brain to recognize success as attainable. When you repeatedly imagine yourself overcoming challenges, succeeding, and thriving, your brain becomes more inclined to find solutions rather than fixate on obstacles. Visualization helps build confidence and prepares your mind to take decisive action. It's also important to remember that a mindset of mastery is not about ignoring difficulties or pretending challenges don't exist. Instead, it's about facing those challenges with a mindset rooted in possibility rather than limitation. This mindset transforms fear into curiosity and doubt into determination. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, you view them as opportunities to grow stronger and smarter. Developing this mindset requires consistency. Affirmations, journaling, and surrounding yourself with positive influences can reinforce your efforts. Every morning, set an intention that aligns with your desired mindset. Today, I will focus on solutions rather than problems, or I will believe in my ability to adapt and overcome. Such affirmations prime your mind for resilience throughout the day. Another essential practice is to distance yourself from negativity. This means not only being mindful of your internal dialogue, but also limiting exposure to external negativity. If you surround yourself with people who constantly complain or doubt your dreams, it becomes harder to maintain a positive outlook. Instead, seek out those who challenge and uplift you. Engage with content that inspires growth rather than feeds pessimism. Ultimately, mastering your mindset means accepting that you have the power to choose how you respond to life's challenges. You can either succumb to fear and doubt, allowing your mind to dictate your actions, or you can train your mind to serve you, guiding you toward resilience and success. It's about taking ownership of your thoughts and deliberately directing them toward constructive paths. When you cultivate a mindset of mastery, setbacks become manageable, and challenges lose their power to break you. You begin to see yourself not as a victim of circumstance, but as a creator of your destiny. By training your mind to focus on growth rather than defeat, you build the foundation for a comeback that is not just about recovery, but about transformation. You don't just bounce back, you bounce forward, armed with a mindset that not only survives, but thrives. In the end, your mindset shapes your reality. Choose one of mastery, and you'll find that no challenge is too great and no setback too permanent. You will come back not just different, but better, stronger, and more resilient than ever before. When adversity strikes, our initial reaction is often rooted in emotion. We feel frustration, anger, sadness, or fear, and it's natural to react impulsively based on those emotions. However, one of the most powerful shifts you can make when coming back different is to embrace action rather than reaction. This mindset means taking deliberate, thoughtful steps instead of letting circumstances dictate your response. It's about being proactive rather than reactive, moving with intention instead of being driven by impulsive emotions. Imagine being in a situation where a project you worked hard on is suddenly canceled, or a promotion you were counting on goes to someone else. The first reaction might be to vent, complain, or sink into self-doubt. You might feel betrayed or question your worth. While these emotions are valid, they don't serve your long-term growth. Reacting out of anger or disappointment can lead to poor decisions, damaged relationships, or even more setbacks. Instead of reacting, take a moment to pause and reflect. This brief pause is where the power of action over reaction truly begins. The pause allows you to evaluate the situation objectively. Instead of immediately retaliating or spiraling into negativity, you ask yourself crucial questions. What exactly went wrong? Is there something I could have done differently? What are my options moving forward? This moment of reflection helps you regain control over your response, allowing you to choose actions that align with your goals rather than actions driven solely by emotion. Choosing action over reaction also means taking ownership of your circumstances. Even when a situation feels out of your control, you can still decide how to approach it. For instance, if a business venture fails, reacting might involve blaming others or giving up entirely. But acting means analyzing the failure, identifying mistakes, and formulating a new plan. It requires a mindset that prioritizes progress over pity. You recognize that while you may not control the setback itself, you absolutely control your next move. Another essential aspect of action over reaction is setting clear, manageable goals. Rather than getting lost in the overwhelm of a problem, break it down into smaller, actionable steps. For example, if you lose a job, reacting might mean panicking about finances or feeling hopeless. Taking action, however, could involve updating your resume, reaching out to professional contacts, and actively seeking new opportunities. Each step, no matter how small, moves you forward rather than keeping you stuck in a cycle of reaction. It's important to understand that choosing action doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. Acknowledge them, process them, and then decide how to move beyond them. This approach is about giving yourself space to feel without letting those feelings dictate your choices. Emotions can inform your actions without overwhelming them. For instance, feeling angry about an unfair situation can fuel your determination to work harder and prove your capabilities, rather than leading to rash decisions that could worsen the situation. One practical way to practice action over reaction is through strategic planning. When facing a challenge, list out potential solutions before making a decision. Evaluate the pros and cons of each option. This analytical approach reduces impulsivity and ensures that your actions are purposeful. Additionally, seeking advice from mentors or trusted friends can provide perspective, helping you see the bigger picture rather than being consumed by immediate emotions. Taking action also involves building resilience. Life will always present challenges, but when you consistently practice responding with thoughtful actions, you build a habit of resilience. This mindset not only helps you recover from setbacks more quickly, but also prevents minor obstacles from becoming major roadblocks. Over time, you'll notice that your ability to handle adversity strengthens, and your confidence in your problem-solving skills grows. In professional and personal settings alike, those who act instead of react are often seen as leaders. They demonstrate composure, critical thinking, and a results-oriented mindset. Whether it's managing a crisis at work or dealing with a personal loss, their ability to take thoughtful, calculated steps sets them apart. People gravitate towards those who maintain composure under pressure because it signals reliability and strength. Choosing action over reaction requires discipline, but it's a practice worth cultivating. When you shift from merely reacting to actively planning your response, you reclaim your power. You demonstrate to yourself and others that challenges do not dictate your fate. You do. By making decisions rooted in intention rather than impulse, you come back not just different, but improved. You demonstrate growth, maturity, and an unshakable commitment to your progress. The world respects those who take charge of their own stories. By choosing action over reaction, you transform moments of despair into opportunities for reinvention. You demonstrate that setbacks are not endpoints, but stepping stones to something greater. This approach not only reshapes your outcomes, but also redefines how you view yourself as someone who refuses to be defined by difficulties, but instead uses them to fuel growth and transformation. Human beings are inherently social creatures, and the people we choose to surround ourselves with significantly impact our mindset, motivation, and success. When life deals you a setback, it's crucial to recognize that you don't have to go through it alone. One of the most powerful ways to come back different is to surround yourself with strength. This means deliberately choosing to be around people who uplift you, challenge you, and inspire you to grow rather than those who drain your energy or reinforce negative patterns. When you're going through a tough time, it's easy to gravitate towards people who validate your feelings of self-pity or blame. While temporary comfort is valuable, staying in that environment for too long can hinder your growth. Instead, seek out individuals who encourage you to move forward rather than dwell on what went wrong. These are the people who remind you of your potential, push you to take responsibility, and motivate you to transform your setback into a comeback. Surrounding yourself with strength does not mean isolating yourself from those who care about you but lack a growth mindset. It's about consciously including more people who exhibit resilience, positivity, and a forward-thinking attitude. Think about role models, mentors, or even friends who have faced adversity and emerged stronger. Their stories and attitudes can serve as living proof that it's possible to rise above difficulties. Spending time with such individuals helps you internalize the mindset necessary to overcome your own challenges. Sometimes finding these strong influences requires stepping out of your comfort zone. You might need to join new social circles, attend workshops, or participate in community groups focused on personal development. Look for environments where people are actively working towards self-improvement, whether it's a fitness group, a professional network, or a support community. When you immerse yourself in spaces where growth is celebrated, it becomes easier to adopt that same mentality. Mentorship is another powerful way to surround yourself with strength. A good mentor doesn't just offer advice. They challenge your perceptions and push you to think differently. They have often walked the path you're on and can share strategies to navigate it. A mentor's guidance can help you see your setback from a broader perspective, giving you insights that you may not have considered. Seek out mentors who embody the qualities you wish to develop, whether it's resilience, strategic thinking, or unwavering determination. Friends and family also play a critical role, but it's essential to evaluate whether their influence is helping or hindering your progress. It's okay to set boundaries with those who constantly bring negativity or doubt into your life. Explain your need to focus on positive influences and personal growth. You don't have to cut ties completely, but be mindful of how much weight you give to their opinions. Prioritize interactions with those who genuinely support your efforts to grow and evolve. Social media can also be a double-edged sword when it comes to surrounding yourself with strength. If your feed is filled with negativity, constant complaints, or people who glorify stagnation, it can subtly undermine your mindset. Curate your online environment to include motivational content, stories of resilience, and accounts that promote positivity. Engage with communities where people share their journeys of overcoming obstacles. This intentional curation can provide daily doses of encouragement and perspective. It's also important to understand that strong people do not necessarily mean those who are always happy or unbothered by difficulties. Strength can be found in those who are honest about their struggles but refuse to let those struggles define them. They are the ones who acknowledge pain without succumbing to it, who process setbacks and then strategize their next steps. These are the people who can teach you how to balance vulnerability with perseverance. Sometimes surrounding yourself with strength means being willing to let go of toxic influences. This can be particularly challenging when those influences come from long-standing relationships. However, distancing yourself from constant negativity is an act of self-respect. You are not abandoning people. You are choosing to protect your mental and emotional well-being. When you create space for positivity, you open the door to new relationships that can support your growth. Over time, as you build a circle of strength around you, you will notice your own mindset shifting. You'll become more solution-oriented, less prone to despair, and more confident in your ability to handle setbacks. This transformation is not just about who you are around, but also about who you become in their presence. You start adopting the resilient attitudes of those you admire. Their stories become intertwined with your own, reminding you that struggle and success are part of the same journey. Surrounding yourself with strength ultimately means being intentional about the energy you allow into your life. It requires discernment and the courage to prioritize your growth. When you fill your life with people who inspire resilience and action, you are far more likely to come back from setbacks not just intact, but transformed. The collective strength of your circle becomes a powerful force that propels you forward, reminding you that you are capable of rising, no matter how many times life tries to hold you down. Success and transformation are not built on grand, sporadic efforts, but on consistent daily habits that propel you forward. When striving to come back different after a setback, cultivating daily discipline becomes your greatest ally. Discipline is not about perfection or rigid routines. It's about committing to small, purposeful actions that compound over time to create significant change. In the face of adversity, maintaining daily discipline can be the difference between stagnation and growth. Imagine a situation where a person loses their job unexpectedly. The initial reaction may involve shock, frustration, and anxiety about the future. In these moments, it's tempting to fall into a cycle of unproductive behavior, like staying up late, sleeping in, or endlessly scrolling through social media. While occasional indulgence is understandable, allowing it to become a routine can hinder progress. To come back different, it's essential to establish daily habits that foster growth and resilience. The power of daily discipline lies in its ability to build momentum. When you consistently engage in actions that align with your goals, you not only make tangible progress, but also strengthen your mindset. One of the most effective ways to practice discipline is to establish a morning routine that sets a positive tone for the day. This could include waking up at a set time, engaging in physical activity, practicing mindfulness, or dedicating a few minutes to personal development through reading or journaling. Starting your day with intention primes your mind to focus on what you can control, rather than dwelling on setbacks. Discipline also means prioritizing tasks that align with your comeback strategy. If your goal is to bounce back professionally, dedicate time daily to updating your skills, networking, or applying for new opportunities. If the setback was related to health, commit to simple, consistent actions like exercising, eating well, or attending therapy. The key is to make these actions non-negotiable. Even on days when motivation is low, discipline carries you through because you've ingrained these habits as part of your routine. Another critical aspect of daily discipline is setting clear, achievable goals. Break your larger objectives into smaller, manageable tasks. For example, if you aim to start a new business, your daily discipline might include researching your market, drafting a business plan, or making one networking call per day. By breaking down your goal into bite-sized actions, you reduce the feeling of overwhelm and ensure steady progress. Accountability is also an integral part of maintaining discipline. Sharing your goals with a trusted friend or mentor can motivate you to stay consistent. Alternatively, using tools like habit trackers or journals helps you visualize your progress and maintain momentum. Celebrate small wins to reinforce your commitment. Recognizing achievements, no matter how minor, builds confidence and reinforces the belief that you are moving in the right direction. Discipline is not just about productivity, but also about building resilience. Life's challenges can easily disrupt your routine, but your commitment to daily habits anchors you during turbulent times. For instance, if you face a personal loss, maintaining your routine can provide a sense of stability when emotions are overwhelming. Discipline offers structure, giving you a way to move forward even when motivation is fleeting. A common misconception is that discipline stifles creativity or freedom. In reality, it does the opposite. By establishing consistent habits, you free up mental space and reduce decision fatigue. Instead of constantly wondering what you should do next, your discipline guides you. This structure allows your mind to focus on problem solving and innovation rather than getting caught in cycles of doubt or hesitation. It's important to acknowledge that discipline is not about harsh self-judgment when you falter. There will be days when you miss a step or feel too exhausted to maintain your routine. The key is to get back on track without guilt or self-recrimination. Progress is rarely linear, and allowing yourself grace while remaining committed to your habits ensures long-term success. Additionally, discipline fosters a sense of self-respect. Each time you follow through on your commitments, you reinforce the belief that you are capable and reliable. This sense of integrity becomes especially important when rebuilding your life after a setback. It reminds you that, despite the challenges, you are taking ownership of your journey and actively shaping your future. One way to strengthen your daily discipline is to connect your habits to your larger purpose. For instance, if your goal is to rebuild your career, remind yourself that each application sent, each skill improved, and each networking effort brings you one step closer to your vision. By linking your actions to a deeper purpose, you reduce resistance and increase your willingness to stay consistent. Ultimately, daily discipline is not about grand transformations overnight. It's about making incremental progress every day, no matter how small. These small, consistent actions build habits that lead to big changes over time. They keep you grounded, focused, and prepared to seize opportunities when they arise. When you commit to daily discipline, you are not just surviving adversity, but actively working to thrive beyond it. Coming back different is not about drastic changes, but about steady, intentional improvements. Through daily discipline, you cultivate a mindset that prioritizes growth and resilience. You demonstrate to yourself that your response to setbacks is within your control. In doing so, you don't just rebuild your life, you transform it, one disciplined step at a time. One of the most transformative aspects of coming back different after a setback is learning to embrace change rather than resist it. Change, whether expected or sudden, can feel overwhelming and unsettling. Human nature often gravitates toward familiarity and routine because they provide a sense of security. However, life's most significant growth happens when you move beyond your comfort zone and face change head-on. To truly come back different, you must develop a mindset that not only accepts change, but actively seeks the lessons it offers. When a setback occurs, it often disrupts the stability you once knew. Whether it's losing a job, facing a health crisis, or experiencing a personal loss, the initial reaction is often resistance. You may find yourself wishing things would return to how they were or feeling stuck because you can't envision a new way forward. This resistance, while natural, can create more pain and frustration. Instead, shifting your mindset to see change as an opportunity rather than a threat is crucial. One way to start embracing change is by reframing how you perceive it. Instead of viewing change as something forced upon you, see it as an invitation to evolve. Consider how the new circumstances might push you to develop skills, strengthen your character, or explore paths you wouldn't have considered otherwise. For instance, if a long-term relationship ends, instead of seeing it solely as a loss, recognize it as a chance to rediscover yourself. Focus on personal growth or pursue interests you may have set aside. Adopting this perspective doesn't mean denying the pain that change can bring. Acknowledge your emotions, but don't let them dictate your entire response. Processing feelings like grief, frustration, or confusion is part of the journey. Once you've honored those emotions, shift your focus to the possibilities the change presents. This transition from resistance to acceptance is where resilience begins to take root. Another essential aspect of embracing change is staying adaptable. Life rarely unfolds as planned, and the ability to pivot is invaluable. Adaptability is not just about reacting to change, but proactively preparing for it. Cultivate skills that make you flexible in various situations, such as problem solving, critical thinking, and emotional regulation. For example, if your industry undergoes a major shift, rather than fearing obsolescence, invest in learning new technologies or techniques that keep you relevant. It's also helpful to surround yourself with people who view change as a positive force. Their perspectives can influence how you approach your own challenges. Being around those who see opportunities rather than obstacles helps reinforce your commitment to adapt and grow. Listen to their stories of transformation and let their experiences remind you that change, while uncomfortable, is a pathway to renewal. Another practical step in embracing change is setting new goals that align with your current reality. Sometimes setbacks force you to reconsider what you truly want. Use this period of transition to evaluate your priorities and make adjustments. If you've lost a job, ask yourself if this might be the perfect moment to pursue a passion or switch careers. Setting new, realistic goals helps shift your mindset from focusing on what's lost to envisioning what can be gained. To make change less daunting, break it down into manageable steps. Large, life-altering shifts can feel paralyzing when seen as one massive challenge. Instead, focus on small, daily actions that move you toward adaptation. If you're moving to a new city, start by researching neighborhoods, connecting with local groups online, or planning small weekend explorations. Each step reduces fear and builds confidence. Accepting change also requires a sense of curiosity. Instead of assuming that change will be negative, approach it with the mindset of a learner. Ask yourself, what can I discover from this situation? Or how might this challenge make me stronger? This approach transforms anxiety into exploration, making you more open to the unexpected benefits that change can bring. Mindfulness practices can also play a significant role in coping with change. Techniques such as meditation, journaling, or deep breathing can help you stay present rather than getting overwhelmed by what might happen. Mindfulness teaches you to observe your thoughts without getting swept away by them, allowing you to navigate change with a calmer, more focused mindset. Resisting change often stems from fear of the unknown, fear of failure, or fear of losing control. The truth is, life is inherently unpredictable, and clinging to past versions of yourself or your circumstances can lead to stagnation. Embracing change requires courage, but with practice you learn that change is not something to merely survive, but something that can help you thrive. Over time, as you build the habit of accepting and adapting to change, you develop a stronger sense of self. You realize that your identity is not tied to a single circumstance, but to your ability to evolve. Each time you face a new challenge, you become more confident in your capacity to handle it. You stop longing for what was and start appreciating what is and what could be. Ultimately, coming back different means recognizing that change is not your enemy, but a catalyst for growth. When you let go of resistance and embrace the evolving nature of life, you open yourself to new opportunities, insights, and ways of being. You become more resilient, more dynamic, and more aligned with your true potential. Instead of fearing change, you learn to dance with it, allowing it to shape you into a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and undeniably transformed.